Hello everyone. I want to do just this quick overview video for exercise 2B and just to give you a couple of pointers. So taking a look at the textbook, you'll see for 2B, we're going to use the same map that you used in 2A, and we're going to learn some more of the basic features for using your ArcGIS Pro and some of the very useful tools that we're going to begin using more and more. Now, the first thing that they'll have you do, if you don't already have the map from 2A open, is they ask you to reopen up that exercise. Okay. Then the next thing that they're going to ask you to do here, it says number 2 in the contents pane, highlight cities. On the ribbon, click the appearance tab and then click the symbology button. Now, this is one where when you go to do this in ArcGIS Pro, you may find that there is a change. Now, ideally, the appearance button would be here. You'll see it's up here in the ribbon and it says then featured layers up here. It says appearance, labeling, and data. However, for some versions of ArcGIS, when, for instance, I click on cities, if you look up here, you're going to see it looks different. There's no appearance and the word feature layer is here. Okay. So if when you look up at the ribbon, if you see the word appearance, you can click on that and follow the instructions. If you don't, if your screen looks more like mine does right now, if you click on feature layer, that's the appearance. So in some of the later versions or upgrades, they changed that. So again, in the textbook, if it's talking about the appearance tab, just make a note, that's feature layer. So then once you're here, you could click on the symbology and it'll pop up your symbology content pane here, and then you're able to continue with the activity. Do notice that they give you some other tips on how to potentially choose the symbology button. And this is just one example. Like I said, that sometimes you've got to look around a little bit because some of the things may have changed. But this particular activity here, when we're looking at ArcGIS, it's dealing with symbols. And you're able to really change and control what these symbols look like, which is right now, we're just kind of trying different things out. But especially once you're making your own maps, symbols are very important because they're a visual cue. Not only that, there are a lot of times preconceived notions. For instance, a stop sign has a very specific shape. And a lot of times people have been tested, they have a stop sign shape and it's red, but it doesn't say anything in it. They'd still automatically assume it was a stop sign. So again, symbols can be very, very important. So this first part of exercise 2B is going over the symbols. They give here on my screen, it's in blue, what different types of symbols are, and we'll be getting into these in more detail because again, they do represent a lot of that data. So you're going to go through, you're going to change the symbols. Then the next thing you're going to do is add labels. And again, it goes through and you're going to add, in this case, the labels for the different cities. And then it goes in and talks about doing what we call the out beyond. In other words, when you first do this, it's very cluttered. So we don't really want everything jumbled on top. So they have you set it. So if you are, let me just change this back real quick. Come on. There we go. So if you're out, nothing happens. But then if you scroll in, you'll see how my city names are now appearing. So that's kind of what that next activity will be doing. I did want to mention when you're working on this, please note, sometimes when you go through this and you type it in, it might not look like it's working at first. Sometimes you have to kind of zoom all the way in and zoom all the way back out, sometimes to catch. And that happens actually in another place that I'll mention in just a minute. So you're going to set some labels. From there, you're going to use the measuring distance tool. We're going to use this a lot. This is a very powerful tool. And it's a nice way to have you look at distances, areas, and other features. All right, so you'll go through, you're going to measure the distance between Lima and Rio de Janeiro. Okay. And for an upcoming discussion exercise, I'm going to have you measure a couple of other distances and record those. So make sure you're comfortable with how to use the measure tool. From there, you're going to add a base map. Okay, so you're going to add this ocean that I have here, base map. Base maps are really cool because you can have all sorts of different looks and information. Like I said, right now for this one, they're going to have you put the ocean in. And I wanted to do this here because you notice how this is taking a while. And they mention it in the book as well. The base map layers actually come from the online version or that online connection with your ArcGIS. And so as you can see, sometimes they may get a little stuck. Okay, which is another reason why as you go along, remember I said this before, you want to be saving things and periodically, especially if you're doing anything long. So in case you have to kind of, if things get stuck, like they seem to be here, you can get out of it. Let me go check this out real quick. All right, I got it back. It took a while. But again, as you change the base map, you'll notice it comes in. One note with the base map, sometimes if it looks like it stops working, but you don't see any changes, sometimes you need to zoom in. I love looking at these maps. And you need to zoom out. So just keep that in mind that sometimes, not just for this, but a lot of things, when you're turning on and off layers in a lot of map viewers and GIS programs, sometimes you kind of need to do that because it kind of helps to refresh and redraw the map. All right, so you're going to do the base map. Then you're going to do what we call package and share. This is one way to be able to share your maps with other people. And it uses that ArcGIS online account that you've created as our kind of intermediary. So you're going to go through this, and essentially what you're going to do, is you're going to, from the map, share tab, you're going to package this. So if we go to share, and then you click on map, then this package pane should pop up. Make sure that the name is world, and it should be matching over here, world. Remember, we changed that into A. You might want to change this if you want a summary, but otherwise you can just kind of leave it. So then you click on analyze, and then you click on package. Now I'm going to get a message that says world already exists. Do you want to replace it? That's because I had already done this before. You normally would just click on it and it'll go in, and it's in the lower right hand corner. It's saying preparing data, uploading package. Now, once you've done this, to actually turn in your map to turn in and complete exercise 2B, what you need to do after you packaged it is you need to go and sign in to your ArcGIS Online. Okay, and once you sign into your ArcGIS Online, you click on Content, and you should see here a map package, and it should be your world. So you click on it. Remember, that takes us to the map detail page. And if you remember from last week, to share that map with me, you scroll down here, you click on the share, and you get that little short URL. All right, and then you copy it, and that's what you're actually going to turn in to the activity for 2B, is the link to your completed map. All right, so I think that about does it. Again, if you have any questions with 2B, let me know. Take care.